Welcome to the channel. We are going to get you caught up in all of the crypto news that has been significant in the Bitcoin run over the past month or so. And if you're new to this channel, welcome here. This is our first show. Let's get right into it. Many people are saying Bitcoin is setting itself up for a massive move to the upside. This past month has shown big support and confidence. And a transfer of money into Bitcoin recently from several major organizations has occurred. And to support their moves into the cryptocurrency, there has been some very bullish predictions on Bitcoin. This is Raoul Paul, and we'll have more on him soon. Let's get right into it. Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy Inc., was the first to make a big statement. In mid-August, the company announced that it had purchased $250 million of Bitcoin, and on September 15th, Saylor bought an additional $175 million. His was the first major publicly traded company to invest a major amount of their treasury into Bitcoin, bringing their total investment at the time to $425 million. On a YouTube interview with Daniela Cambone on her Stransberry research channel, Saylor loved Bitcoin as his favorite investment, even better than gold. He loves Bitcoin because the amount that will ever be created is finite. There will only ever be a total of 21 million Bitcoin produced, so its dilution will always be measured, whereas gold will continue to be diluted, and it will be diluted more so as the price of gold would increase. His reasoning is that an increase in the price of gold will attract more miners and better technology. This is not possible with Bitcoin since the amount produced will forever be limited.
Why not gold, Michael?
I considered gold, and then I started studying the two, and then I realized that gold miners are going to produce about 2% more gold every year. And then I realized that there's a possibility over the next 100 years that more than 2% of gold will be increased. But let's just say in the best of the world, for 100 years, we produce 2% more gold. That means $100 million will be debased down to $12.5 million in 100 years.
Next was Square founder and CEO Jack Dorsey's turn. He said on October 8th that Square had purchased 4,709 Bitcoins worth approximately $50 million. Jack mentioned in 2018 that Bitcoin will eventually become the world's single currency. Well, now he backed up that support with his actions. And this tweet he put out on Twitter back on October 8th shows how he just doesn't want to invest in Bitcoin. He wants to show the rest of the world how to invest in Bitcoin as well. Good job, Jack. Okay, let's check out Stone Ridge Holdings Group. They're a $10 billion asset management firm who recently revealed that they placed a $114 million investment into Bitcoin. They call their $114 million in Bitcoin the primary treasury reserve asset. And Stone Ridge Holdings Group is stashing 10,000 Bitcoin with the institutional asset manager's crypto subsidiary NYDIG. The private firm called Bitcoin its new primary treasury reserve asset in a statement shared with CoinDesk. That language was first adopted by publicly traded MicroStrategy, whose CEO was Michael Saylor. Raoul Paul, the founder and CEO of Global Macro Investor, announced he moved 50% of his assets into Bitcoin. He's very bullish on Bitcoin and has a very aggressive prediction. He marked his call that Bitcoin will get to $1 million within 5 to 6 years. He has talked to a lot of people he knows from all the institutions, and he says there is an enormous wall of money coming into Bitcoin.
And just from what I know from all of the institutions, all of the people I speak to, there is an enormous wall of money coming into this. It's an enormous wall of money. Just the pipes aren't there to allow people to do it yet. And that's coming, but it's on everybody's radar screen, and there's a lot of smart people working on it. So
Anthony Pompliano makes a Bitcoin manifesto via his email newsletter. Anthony is a fantastic ambassador for Bitcoin, and I love his podcast and his newsletters. He is possibly the most intelligent person out there when it comes to Bitcoin, and he also makes a grand prediction, marking his call of Bitcoin increasing 10 to 20 times higher in the next 15 months. That means a price of anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 per Bitcoin. For proof, he says, additionally, we are seeing traditional asset management firms start to make a leap into owning Bitcoin. Fidelity Investments recently published a paper showing positive impact for 1 to 5% allocation in clients' portfolios. Stone Ridge, $10 billion asset manager, now owns $115 million in Bitcoin. Paul Tudor Jones publicly revealed that he has put 2% of assets into Bitcoin. Multiple public pensions in the U.S. have now gained exposure to Bitcoin via fund managers. Grayscale, the largest digital asset investment manager, saw record inflows of $1 billion in the third quarter of 20 and now has almost $6 billion in total AUM. People are really starting to get Bitcoin. Corey Klippenstein of Swan Bitcoin gives his idea on where Bitcoin is going.
There's only 21 million of them. There's 7.5 billion people now, and there's likely to be a lot more. There's going to be more global growth in the future. So it's constantly expanding pie. It looks like Bitcoin is the best money that we've ever had as humans.
And what does the future of Bitcoin hold for us right now, as far as we can see it? Well, this article from CoinDesk explains some very important bullish fundamentals, in my opinion. Institutions take record bullish bets in Bitcoin futures, shrugging off exchange missteps. It goes on to say institutions recently raised their bullish bets in Bitcoin futures listed on the Merc to the record level set last month amid signs of market maturity. And it also says in the week ended October 13th, institutional investors increased long positions by over 9%, taking the tally of bullish bets on the record high of 3,500 contracts reached in mid-September. So that tells me that the outlook for Bitcoin is very bullish as far as we can see it right now. And I am still personally very bullish on Bitcoin.